I know I'm live, but I'm still getting ready. You know what I mean? Some mornings are like that. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Look, you can see behind me one of the bouquets I did yesterday. It was flower day yesterday. Boy, I had a good time. You know, on my gratitude list that I do every morning, it almost always says flowers. I'm not like I don't like plant them and grow them. You see these thumbs? There's nothing green about these thumbs. But somehow buying different varieties of flowers and putting them together, just look at that. It's like an English garden right here in my very own kitchen. It's pretty cool. Yeah. So do I look especially tired to you this morning? If I do, it's because I've been burning the candle. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can see that. Look, there's candle wax right there under my eyes. Oh, yes. Good morning. I still feel like sunshine on the inside, but on the outside, I'm really tired and I have a headache. So I'm drinking my magic elixir and it will make me feel better, right? Yeah. I know we got a lot of little things to get out of the way, but I have so many things I want to talk to you about every morning. And it's so funny to me because before I start my morning coffee with you, I think, oh, what am I going to talk about today? I have nothing to talk about. Nothing really happens. Something happens every day. Your life is so full of events and you just don't recognize them. So I'm going to start out by sharing with you my favorite F word. Okay, get those kids out of the room. Here comes my F word. I'm about to drop the big F bomb. Ready? Aim. Focus. That's my F word, my very favorite F word, focus. When I'm playing tennis, I laser focus on the ball. When I'm doing a task, I laser focus on the task. When I'm talking to someone, I have a little more trouble because there's so many things on the outside. But if you want to have a really good conversation, you want to really make a difference with the person you're speaking with, focus on what they're saying. It's so easy instead to start thinking about, well, what do I want to say next? Or what's my agenda? But if you can focus on the speaker, you're going to find all kinds of gold. I'm going to write that down so I remember that later because I need to do that. We're going to talk more about that. But in the meantime, it's National Depression Screening Day. Yesterday we said, if you want to make a small difference in the world, try listening to someone who looks like they need to be listened to. That's part of depression screening. Part of depression screening is just listening for what other people seem to be feeling and needing. Be present for them. That's what you can do. It's National Fluffernutter Day. I'm sorry, I'm not celebrating. Just not my day. And it's National Pierogi Day. Okay, so I know pierogies are they're like hot dogs, right? Kinda. Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna get a lot of slack if I get this one wrong. It's National Pierogi Day. Now you know what to have for lunch, right? Now, what does ew flutternutter mean? Does that mean ew it's so good? I think it's is it like peanut butter and marshmallows put together or something? I don't know. It just sounds sugary, sweet, yucky to me. But hey, if it's your thing, happy Flutternutter Day. Happy birthday to Matt Damon and Bruno Mars, two young men who have brought me hours and hours of absolute joy. Bruno Mars particularly because my grandson used to imitate him and sing his songs and make me happy. What else? Something came up this morning that made me think of Cole Porter. Some show of his must have opened on Broadway or something like that, 400 years ago, whatever. Cole Porter wrote the most amazing lyrics of anyone I ever know. They just all kind of fit. I did a couple of Cole Porter shows when I was in my younger days. There was one in particular that was on Broadway, but was never successful on Broadway. And I think because the cast was old. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe it didn't have the energy that a young people's show would have had. The show was actually called 70 Girls 70, and I played a 70-year-old woman, except I was only like 35 at the time. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. I had really long hair then, and it was all put up on top of my head and powdered so it looked white gray, as opposed to the natural gray that I now possess. I took off my bra. You know what I mean? And what else? Oh, and of course, makeup, which I also probably wouldn't need now, but lines all over my face. The thing that was so cool about it was my children, who were then like in kindergarten or first grade or something like that, brought me flowers opening night. And people were saying things like, "Oh, isn't that so sweet? Look, her grandchildren are here." There was a wonderful song in it called "Go Visit Your Grandmother. Go tell your granny that you care." Yeah, let's see that. Joel played the part and he sang that song. Joel, who is a physician. He was a pediatrician and a magnificent pediatrician. In fact, he was my children's pediatrician. Joel, if you're out there, here's to you. This show was put on by a bunch of community people. That's why they call it community theater. I played a character named Ida, my grandmother's name. So it was like so much fun because I was playing this old character who had a lot of life in her, and her name was the same as my grandmother's. And the man who played opposite me, his name in the show was Harry, which was my grandfather's name. It was like I was destined to star in 70 Girls 70. And it was at that show that I met the man who was to become my very best friend in the world, on the planet, named Fred Lynette. Fred actually was 70 when we did the show, which made it even more hilarious because he was so full of life, but he couldn't remember a line for anything. So we let him carry a clipboard during the entire play like it was part of his costume so he could refer to his notes. Fred was my best friend. Fred passed away. I miss him every single day. In fact, when I get really excited about something or something really funny happens, I go running for my phone so I can call him and tell him, and then I remember he's not here anymore. Do you have that? Do you have someone you just loved so much that you forget that they're not here? Yeah. Good morning. My morning tea is exceptionally delicious today. Well, I am so glad to hear that. That's Henry, right? Pierogies are a Polish type of potato-filled pasta pocket. Oh, that's what pierogies are. Oh, I like pierogies. Okay, it's National Pierogi Day. Go have some for lunch. They're really good. They're really good. Okay, so Fred Lynette, I miss you. I miss you every day. And to those of you of somebody you miss every day, here's to them too. Yeah, baby. It says my mama. Does that mean that's who you miss every day? I totally get it. All right. So, okay. More trivia first. In 1959, the LA Dodgers, that would be Harry Balin, my dog. Isn't that appropriate that Harry would be barking now? Except it's Bailey. Anyway, 1959, the LA Dodgers, that's LA Dodgers because they had just became the LA Dodgers, beat the Chicago White Sox in the 1956 World Series. Now, why is that important? Well, it probably isn't important to you, but it was vital to me at the time. I think I may have mentioned that I was a huge White Sox fan. Huge. I like knew every guy on the team. I would sneak down. My dad would take me to the games, and I would sneak down to get as close as I could to the dugout so I could shake hands with every one of them as they were coming in and going out. I made up songs about them. I collected their baseball cards. I watched every game. I knew all the stats. And then my family announced it was moving to LA. But almost at the same time, the Dodgers moved to LA. So I was leaving my Chicago White Sox, but I was going to the winning team. Made it okay. Now, here's a bit of trivia that you cannot do without this morning. On this very day, in 1964, Ringo Starr got his driver's license. I'm sorry, I care about this. Why? To stay off the roads? Did he even know which side to drive on? Who knows? Okay. I think I told you that I was very tired. I haven't been sleeping very well. It's because I have taken on a number of things all at the same time. You have days like that, right? Weeks like that? Yeah. It's called being busy. And I think in honor of that, not today because you'll get the joke of this later, too busy to do it. I'm going to talk about being busy because being busy is just busyness. Yeah. We say it's what we have to do. We're just busy. There's a lot to do. I say, no, we actually can choose or not choose busyness. The act of being busy kind of begins to identify who we are. And the truth is, it's when you stop, take a breath, rejuvenate, that's when the real work starts getting done. I like to tell people that there's a reason we give children recess in school. It's because they need that time to transition from this to this. And for adults, particularly creative adults, those of you who write or do music or paint or cook or arrange flowers, I don't care what it is that you do, but sometimes the very stopping to refresh is what gets you the great idea. Sometimes, and more often than not, it's during the breaks that the great ideas happen. Let that sink in for a minute. Sometimes, and more often than you can know, it is stepping away from an issue that allows you to open the possibilities around it and come up with another solution, another idea, another tact, another position. Yeah, that's definitely worthy of its own little video, and I'll be working on that one for you. Focusing is very important, focusing on the task at hand. But sometimes we get so focused on an outcome that we forget that there may be different ways to reach that outcome. And stepping back allows us to kind of open it up. Now, I'm not even saying take a break to focus on other ideas. I'm saying take a break, and what's going to happen is this. Okay, I'm not going to think about that anymore. I'm going to do flower arranging, flowers. Oh my God, I just got this great idea. I think great ideas happen in that void that we create, as opposed to when the pressure is like killing you. I think you're so tired when you're in the middle of a problem that you don't take the time to get creative. And I hate the term, but think outside the box. You get focused on one way that it has to end up, and you can't come up with a new plan. You can focus and still take breaks. I mean, think about it. In music, a lot of times it's the silence between the notes that creates the music. All right. I want you to clear your head. However you clear your head. It might be to go outside for a little walk. It might be to pour a hot cup of coffee, maybe a cup of tea. I don't know what it is that works for you, that takes you outside of that moment of extreme pressure to constantly achieve. But sometimes, and I'm inviting you to try it, it's the stepping back and sitting down and letting the magic happen in the recess. Go out and swing on a swing for a little while. Play a game of dodgeball with a friend. But do something that's going to take you away from the pressure for a while. Sometimes that's all it takes. And sometimes you can use the word sometimes 1,000 times in 5 sentences. Focus, but take breaks. Go to recess. Don't get bogged down in the moment. And when you feel yourself starting to get bogged down, excuse yourself. It's always a good excuse if you say, I have to go to the restroom, excuse me. Just leave for a few minutes. Just leave. Clear your mind. Let the magic happen. It's all good. Okay. Be grateful. And by the way, when you're working on your gratitude list, there are so many people who get stuck in the idea that you have to have a list of things you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be things. It can be feelings. It can be smells. It can be people. It can be ideas. I am so grateful for the smell in the morning, that dewy, fresh smell on the grass. It's just so delightful. And the tip I wanted to give you before we go today was, when you're making your gratitude list, don't just list what you're grateful for. List what about that you're grateful for. Why are you grateful for that? I caught myself this morning. I got to see my son yesterday, which was just awesome. And so the first thing I wrote on my gratitude list was, I'm grateful for my son. Well, what does that mean? So I decided to go deep. You know what I mean? I am grateful just to look into his face. I am grateful for almost a half century of joyful memories with that boy, child, man. I am grateful for the kindness he shows to me. I am grateful for the love that I feel for him and the warmth that I feel inside when I just look at his face. You get the idea? Gratitude is so much bigger and so much fuller. And gratitude begets gratitude. So the more you start delving into, okay, I'm grateful for glasses. Well, why are you grateful for glasses? I'm grateful for glasses because I can see when I put on glasses. I can read. I can experience things that I would have missed if I was looking without glasses. So dig deep today. Be grateful, but make yourself even just a mental list of why you're grateful. Because when you come to that point, you start noticing more things you're grateful for. And the more things you notice that you're grateful for, the more things you will find to be grateful for. You want to make a difference in the world? Start by being grateful, because it's contagious. And speaking of contagious, don't forget today's word art. Spread the love, not the virus. Spread the happy, not the virus. Spread you, not the germs. I love you guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.